So today we will be looking at the force and the law of differentiation, and I will be tailoring the session to focus on business competitive advantage, looking at the factor of excellence, or now leveraging on the law of differentiation when it comes to leading in your industry as a person. I don't care how small your business is. I don't care how you think your business is not good enough. I am one of those who believe that you can turn any business into an incredible company. I believe that. I believe you can turn, what's the most lowest business that people don't put respect to? Um, Right. I believe you can turn a roadside restaurant into a five-star hotel someday. Yeah, I believe that. I believe you can turn, uh, uh, um, like for example, how many people knew that we could design a mini MBA program, do it using WhatsApp groups and then Zoom sessions like this and turn into a national event, an international event, basically, right? You can turn, uh, 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 I believe that a young man who starts doing buying and selling of lands, I believe that that young man someday can have a real estate company that is that has 30,000 houses. There's somebody in Nigeria who has done that after 30 years. He started buying lands and selling, but today he's one of the wealthiest men in Lagos because he has grown that into owning his own estate. You know, having a community of built that has 25,000 apartments. People come and buy from you or rent from you. And I believe that no matter how small your business is, your business can enjoy a certain level of competitive advantage, which you can take it to another level. And when you run your business, you need to be very intentional when it comes to this. And that's why I don't have respect for people who run their business with some level of laziness, of laxity, less commitment. You are just passing time. You are disrespecting the calling of owning a business and being an entrepreneur, right? So it's important that you get to understand how you can put in force this particular factor and experience a certain level of competitive advantage in your small business, medium business, or a big business, depending on what level you find yourself. And according to the law of differentiation, a product or service must have a competitive advantage or an area of excellence that enables it to stand out from its competitors in some way if it is to succeed in a competitive marketplace. Therefore, the underlying force regarding this particular law is that for you as a professional, for you as a business person, for you to be able to succeed and stand out from your competitors in the same industry, you need to understand how to generate competitive advantage by tapping into your differentiation or into your area of excellence, because these will enable you to stand out from your competitors, thereby enabling your success. Like I like to say, imagine you're looking for a job and you're going to the interview panel. They have already said that for the requirements, the least person should have a master's degree program. The least person should have 5 years experience and all of that. Now, imagine all of you, when you're going for that kind of interview, you need to understand that you've got to bring in something that will make you stand out, something that would differentiate you. When you're going for an interview that they have shared requirements, always be intentional. Be very intentional to make sure that you look for something that is beyond the requirements that they have been asked for. Because majority of other interviewees will just come like that with their heads. making sure that they fulfill the requirements needed. If you want to beat them in that interview, the first step is for you to engineer your competitive advantage when it comes to standing out. And it is the same for business. It is the same when you're in business. When you are in business, you need to be very important, very, very intentional when it comes to differentiating yourself. Start looking at which part of the business model, which part of the ecosystem can I command a certain level of excellence that can lead to me standing out in business. And that is why it is important that your product or service, that is, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, your product or service must be unique, must be better, or even outstanding in some way if you are going to sell it in sufficient quantities and to be successful. And you cannot do this by just being average. You cannot do this by just not running your business anyhow. You don't create a unique product from the place of your comfort zone. You don't create a unique product from the place of assumptions and from the place of being lazy or being less committed. No, you need to invest some time, some brainstorming, some analysis, some observation, some intentionality, some resources that will enable you to create something or to tap into your area of excellence that when you begin to put into play in the form of execution, you can start enjoying that competitive advantage. That is why I am charging you today, avoid the Me Too product. Me Too product, right? I can do it too product. I can try it too product. I can also do it too product. Because Abigail is doing cleaning. Me too, I can do cleaning. Because Nelly runs a restaurant. Me too, I can run a restaurant. Because this I can, me too products never have competitive advantage. They never do that. You need to avoid a Me Too product. Yes, Abigail runs a cleaning business. Maybe you discover you could know what you really want to do a cleaning business. That's different from doing it because you assume that, oh, because she's succeeding in it, or you can also do it too. Now that is different. That is, you will hardly command a certain level of competitive advantage to do that. And of course, people are going to copy you. People are going to copy you and try to do things and so on and so forth. I remember that, I think last year, sometime this year, I told you guys that we should watch. You're going to see that people are going to start doing a lot of morning schools and all of that, right? I already seen the guys advertising morning schools, which is all right. I hope they are doing it from the place of conviction and understanding their own model and what they have created. But if it's a Me Too product, it may not last because maybe they may find it difficult disciplining themselves doing a morning school for 20 days. 25 days and all of that, because they're doing it from the place of copy work, not from the place of innovation and conviction and some level of attachment and love and passion and dedication and focus to engineer something that is unique. So if you want to be competitive in your business, please avoid doing things from the place of Me Too, because you will not have area of excellence. And when you don't have that, your competitive advantage starts shrinking down. So it is important that as a business person, as a professional, you need to start tapping into your special strength. What special strength do you command as a person? What special qualities do you command as a person that can make a difference from any other competitor or from any other products? Now, and here's something very powerful in business. Every entrepreneur, every human being has special strength and special abilities or special qualities. You can take your special strength and qualities, mix it up with a business idea, and you can create a competitive advantage. That is why self-awareness is very important for business people. That is why understanding your purpose is very important in business. That is why understanding your best areas of interest and the best ways that you can perform is very important in business, because you can use that, add it to an existing business model, and you can create something incredible that will look different and automatically give you a competitive advantage. Look at it, a lot of articles and research have been done when it comes to people who have made it big in business. And if you read many of these articles and research papers and books, you're going to understand that one thing that is constant among them is that many of them built their businesses from the place of passion, special abilities, commitment, and attachment to what they do. For example, Elon Musk had always loved electricity, had always loved innovation and technology and trying to build things. Look at Microsoft. Bill Gates started coding when he was still 7, 8 years old. So many of them built these things, right? Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook started building things right in the university to connect people together within the campus. So if you look at these things, so there's a lot of attachment when you look at special abilities, special passion, special strength into their business models that build something into what they're doing. When you look at somebody who is naturally passionate at cooking and seeing people happy, the way that person can run a restaurant is different from somebody who is running a restaurant from a me-too capacity, because just the stress of cooking will kick you out of business. Just the stress of serving food and somebody say, can you change this, can you do that? You really get angry and just go. But somebody who has the passion for food, who has the passion to see people happy because they ate food and all of that, they're going to enjoy that process, but you will be enduring the process. And people end up giving up in business because they started from the place of me too, and they're going to endure the process instead of enjoying the process. Therefore, in business, for you to have the right business competitive advantage, you need to determine what is popularly called the USP, your unique selling proposition. This is the starting point of all successful marketing and sales. Your unique sales proposition, USP, is the starting point of all successful advertising and sales. In other words, can you summarize what makes your business unique? Can you summarize what makes your product or service unique or different or better in between 20 words and 5 words or less, right? That's the unique selling proposition. Can you summarize what makes your product different? What makes your business different? What makes your startup different? In 20 words or less, can you do that? That is your real unique value proposition. The ability to say a lot with less words is very powerful. The ability to use 25 words or less to communicate what differentiates you from what others are doing is different. Let me give an example. Somebody reached out to me. He already has an MBA. He already has an MBA. And he was asking me, why should I register? I feel like I should be a mini MBA program, but why should I do your mini MBA program? And in a simple sentence, I said, I will teach you practical working systems on how you can build your business and become a profitable business in less than 2 years. That's what I told him. right? He's not looking for another certificate. He already has an MBA. He's not looking for whatever. So I bet he was trying to run a startup. He has been struggling. So I had to give him a USP based on what he's going through as a potential successful business person. It is the same like the real USP of the mini MBA program is, I've told some of you several times, the real unique selling proposition of the mini MBA program is this: helping people who have discovered themselves in the business world and they have never gone through any formal business training to acquire basic business skills, to acquire relevant business skills to start and grow businesses, right? That's your unique value proposition. There should be something that differentiates. It's not just another MBA, it's not just another program, but it is tailored. There's some uniqueness attached to it. It is the same like the Peak Performance Academy. It is created for people who are looking for more, who want to stretch themselves to become better performers in career and in business. They want to disrupt old patterns, old ways of doing things, old ways of thinking, old habits, old lifestyle, and initiate new lifestyles so that they can produce better results. And the real USP is that's why we do odd programs. That's why we do programs very early in the morning, 4 a.m., 3 a.m. That's why we do 12 a.m. programs, what they call the midnight schools. That's what we do. That's our uniqueness, to cut it different into another direction, right? So it's very important to do that. If it's good to understand, if you still find it difficult to summarize what makes your product or service or startup unique, different, and better in simple and fewer words, then you have not discovered your area of excellence when it concerns that particular business. And before we continue, let's do a quick activity. I would like people to write in the chat box, those who run businesses or who plan to run businesses, share your unique selling proposition in a few words in the chat box. Let's go. There are some people I'm eyeing them. If you don't share, I will just cut you. Clinton, Tata Freak, Rita, Ramses, Immaculate. What are those names? In short, all of you, share what makes you unique, your unique selling proposition. Remember, it should be a statement in very simple but relevant words that summarizes what makes what you do different, unique, and better than that of competitors in the marketplace. Oh yeah, let's go. I know some people start thinking now. That's why morning school is there, to open your heart and your minds, your spirits. So after this, look for offerings. Let's go, people. Let's go. Quality produced at affordable prices. I think anybody can do that, Purity. Think again, think deeper. Think deeper. Quality produced for who? Provide organic food to non-communicable disease patients with a dietitian service. Excellent. Now, that is a unique selling proposition. Can you guys see that? Provide organic food to non-communicable disease patients with a dietitian service. Excellent. That's good, Brenda. That's a good unique selling proposition. Help business people and individuals embrace technology with productivity. It's good, but it needs some work. It's not yet the way I know your business, Ramses, you can do better than that. Quantizone helps Cameroonians search and acquire quality original electronics and will deliver faster to them at the comfort of their homes. This is good. Tom Clinton. Now, can you find a way to add keywords like honesty, credibility, something around that in your unique selling proposition? Because that is always the fear of online buying in Cameroon. Okay, because you are going towards e-commerce. Orientation of customers on the rightful purchase and proper use of telephones. Okay, this is good. Now, to make it better, Bertian, can you talk about customers who don't know mobile? There are customers who don't know how to look at mobile phones. I'm thinking of something better. Like imagine ignorant customers, right? Orientating um, uh, 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 novice customers in telephones on how to do right food, because like someone like me, I don't need orientation. I know what a good phone is. I know how to open the phone inside, look at the property, all of that. So I'm not in that particular position, right? Now imagine an elderly parent. Imagine ladies that the only thing they look at in the phone is camera. They brightness of the camera, but they don't look at the RAM, the speed, and all of that, right? So they add a word. So there's not just customers. There are specific customers that this your unique selling proposition can go to. But that's a good one. Just need to orientate that from general customers to specific novice, guys who don't have an idea of what makes a good telephone. Okay. We sell exotic high-value seeds to help average citizens to live healthy. Okay, good. I want to be helping farmers realize higher agricultural productivity by offering them with quality farm inputs and consultancy service. This is good, but I think anybody can write this as an agricultural expert. So try to take it. You can take it deeper again. I think you can take it further. Yeah, it's not yet perfect, God knows. You can take it further. We at Most Media will build a tailor-made brand with a strong marketing strategy. When you're doing unique value proposition, avoid will. It's good to say what you're doing already. When you say will, it already defeats if you have any value to offer actually. Okay, so it's good to talk about be in the present continuous, like what you're already doing already. Okay, so skincare products made with very safe and natural ingredients for a targeted result. Now, who is this skincare product for? And this is a kind of business that you will need to create value selling proposition for each product. When you say, now skincare product is for the whole business, right? Which is good. But now in your case, you need to go deeper. You need to go deeper when it comes to various products. To provide quality education to students and graduates to set goals for them. I think you have reversed your unique selling proposition, Donald. You have reversed it. Start from setting goals, and then you bring it around. Try to look at the diverse areas. Okay. All right. Great. I'm seeing everybody's points. Excellent. Keep it coming. That's what PPA is all about. All right, beautiful. I will not read all, but great work so far. I hope you have learned from the correction of giving to other people. Good. You guys are getting it. Now, let me give you examples from that, Bryan Tracy. We are going to see that unique selling proposition statements from big companies like Ford. Ford says quality is job one. Quality is job one. So imagine you're buying a car and a car company is telling you that quality is our number one job. We make sure that what the machines, the cars that we produce, quality is the number one job. BMW calls it the ultimate driving machine, right? So see, just few words, but very powerful. The ultimate driving machine. And IBM bases advertising and marketing on quality and customer service. So you find it and you communicate it in a way that it can convict your target market and let them see that you have an excellent mission when it comes to serving them. Therefore, when you clearly communicate your unique selling proposition as an entrepreneur, as a professional, these advantages that you communicate convey clearly why someone should choose buying from you over the competitor, right? Like none of you are writing right now. When you communicate with potential customers and you fit these kind of sentences in your marketing message, you help the customer to make a buying decision by choosing to buy from you instead of your competitor, because your unique selling proposition statement clearly conveys why you are the best, why you are the perfect provider of the value that they are looking for. Unique selling proposition is very critical in whatever that you do. Therefore, the very best of marketing, advertising, and selling campaigns are built around unique selling proposition that can be communicated in a meaningful way to the prospective customer. What is yours, as we were saying already? For you as a business person, for you as an entrepreneur, for you as a professional, the best marketing, advertising, and sales campaign are built around what? Around a unique selling proposition, around that thing that makes you unique, around that thing that makes you better from the competitors, around that thing that makes you different from what is already in the market. Your ability to communicate your selling campaign around your USP, and you don't just communicate it, but you communicate it in a meaningful way, in a way that speaks to the heart of your target customer. The same as I was saying, you're in an interview panel, you need to make sure that you go to that panel with a unique selling proposition for yourself as a professional. Look for something that is not in the requirements and something you think you can anticipate that others do not have. And you bring it on and you hit it so hard and you communicate it in a meaningful way that will make the interviewer to look at you and say, this is the person we are looking for. Therefore, to succeed in the marketplace, a product or a service must have a distinct advantage, something that makes it superior. Look at that, something that makes it superior to competing products and services. Entrepreneurs, hear me. I have a question for you. What makes your product, what makes your startup superior to other competing startups, businesses, and products around you? What is that thing that makes it superior? Because there is no way you are going to succeed in a marketplace. You're going to succeed as a business person, or your product is going to stand out and win in the market if that product or business does not have a distinct advantage, does not have something that makes it superior to competing products, services, or other stuff. It is very important to intentionally invest in that. The determination of your competitive advantage for your product or service is perhaps, not this carefully, is perhaps the most important single marketing and selling decision your business makes. That thing, that determination of your competitive advantage for your product, that USP that makes your product different, better, unique, just different from others, perhaps will be the most important single marketing and selling decision for your business. So you need to have it. One thing I want us to achieve after this call session is that you make sure that you don't just run the business like that. Avoid a me too business. Avoid a business that is like every other person. Always go the extra mile. Always go the extra mile to make sure that there is something that is different, that makes you stand out. Because if you don't have that thing that determines your competitive advantage, you're going to struggle in the marketplace. That is why weakness in this area is the biggest single reason for market failure for any product or service. Yes, you are already failing if you are launching into a market. You already have a lot of weakness. If you are launching into any marketplace with no competitive advantage, you're already losing, especially into a popular marketplace. Imagine you are planning to launch a restaurant right now. And all you just launch a restaurant, just cook normal food. Everything is just like cook, serve food. That's all you do. Number one, it's a very competitive and very busy industry. So you are already a weak business. They're already a weak stakeholder coming just like that. Just having chairs, pots, and then you cook food. Nothing attached to it. Nothing different attached to it. You are going to struggle. So it is important that you as the entrepreneur or the business person, you learn how to create a meaningful competitive advantage that gives prospective customer a good reason. Until you have a competitive advantage, you will never give anybody any good reason to buy from you, especially if you're starting. Why should I leave an established business that can give me a better buying experience to come and buy from you? Tell me, why should I do that? The only reason I can leave a big business and go buy from a small business is that that small business can give me a very good reason to buy that product rather than buying from the competitor. You've got to invest. You've got to invest intentionally in making sure that that is well communicated. Let me repeat that again. As an entrepreneur, as a business executive, you must create. And when the word create comes in place, you don't create from your comfort zone. You don't create when you're lazy. You don't create when you're assuming. You don't create by being average, by being a mediocre. You don't create by just living life anyhow. The word create means intentionality. The word create means dedication. The word create means you live. There are people who live and they come and pay coaching session and we focus just on one thing, looking for USP. Joybert, how can I create? What should I add to my business that will make it stand out automatically? And we spend hours dissecting what others are already doing, looking at where the industry is coming from, looking at where the industry is right now, and looking at where the industry is going to. Then we create. Then we create something. And you create something that automatically gets to stand out. So as a business person, as an entrepreneur, as a professional, you must, there's a must there. You must create a meaningful competitive advantage that gives a prospective customer a good reason. A good reason. It is your job. Don't create something and expect people to pity you and buy. No, it is your job to make sure that you give the customer a good reason to buy from you rather than buying from your competitor. It is your job to give them a good reason. And you don't give somebody a good reason until you create that reason. And you don't create a reason until you invest time, resources, intelligence, wisdom, whatever you have at your disposal to finally come to that underlying fact. This is what makes us stand out. This may be the reason why some of you are struggling in business. Because there is nothing, you don't create, you have not given your customers or your target market a good reason why they should leave others and come buy from you and come consume your services. It's the same like in my industry, training, consider all of that. I am always very intentional. If I'm going to launch something that is normal, I'm not going to launch it until I find a USP in that training program, in that consulting package, in that coaching package. I am not launching it. Because the first way for me to guarantee a sellout event is for me to know that there is a USP in my marketing message. And when I always guarantee a USP, I always have a sold out. I completely always sold out the sellout event, complete sold out, right? There must be something that must be in the game in whatever that you are producing. I love this by Jack Welch, always recognized as one of the best CEOs that ever existed in this particular generation, or in the older present generation. General Electric Cars, the CEO of General Electric Cars, he said, he has said that his philosophy is to be either number one or number two in every product area in which General Electric competes. And that's very true. If you read his history and biography, you will notice that any car that his company launched that was not performing either number one or number two in American market, they removed that car from the market and they create a different car. His mission as a CEO was simple. If we produce a car brand for the American market, that car must be selling as a number one car, or worst case scenario, number two car. It should not be number three. It should not be number three. That was his mindset. And when you have that kind of mindset, you are dedicated to creating. You are dedicated to creating a product that gives prospective customers a reason, a strong reason to buy from you. So according to Jack Welch, if General Electric cars cannot achieve the first or second position within a reasonable time period, they will withdraw from the market and focus their resources on another area where they can dominate. He always used to say, if you don't have competitive advantage, don't compete. I love this statement. If you don't have competitive advantage, don't do what? Do not compete. Simple. I've told you guys several times. You can even ask Teresh and Lawrence. When we launch a training, I always have a deadline. I always have my own days that I've measured that, okay, if by this day, we don't have this number of people who have signed up for this training, then something is wrong somewhere. We either change the marketing strategy, we change the marketing message, we always change something. And it is in rare cases when we do that, when the message is right, the unique values proposition or selling proposition is right, we always get our target right. It's the same that they just ended People Performance Summit. We're always focusing on the numbers. Okay, this how many days we have to the summit? What are the numbers that we have right now? I remember a day that he gave me certain numbers. Okay, you know what? We're going to film the event. I think he mentioned, okay, we already have 200 people registered to a certain day. I said, okay, we're going to film it. We're good to go. I was so certain that we are good to go. We're going to fill out that event even before the event day. I was so certain. I said, we're good to go. But if by that deadline, our numbers we are not up to that standard, we need to change immediately. There should be action B and C and all of that. And that's one thing about me. I always have a plan up to plan Z for anything I'm launching out. Because if these numbers are not coming in, something is wrong somewhere. We need to initiate the plan B until we get the result that we are looking for. If you don't have competitive advantage, don't compete. There are some of you crying that business is not going, oh, they're not buying from me, oh, they are not doing this, oh, competition is hard, oh, things are hard. But you are not, you don't have the ability to even make money because you have no competitive advantage. You are like everybody else. So from today, that's why I need to create time. And I always laugh at people. Like there's a lady I was talking to yesterday. She told me that she has 1 million to start a business. And she needs an innovative business idea. That's what she told me. And I said, I have two options for you. Either you pay for a coaching session, or I send you one of my videos to watch, one of my free videos to watch and see what you can do, what you learn from there, right? And people are good at, they always look at the 1 million to invest, but they are willing to spare maybe a 50,000 francs, 30,000 francs, whatever, to pay an expert to guide them to do the right thing. I always say something very funny. If you want to invest more than 500,000 francs into a business, and you are not willing to use a small piece, it will be 20, 25,000 francs, 30,000 francs to gain knowledge so they can manage 450,000 francs very well, you will end up losing the 500,000 francs and you will still cry, and then you will still stop crying and life will still continue, right? So it is important to invest time. If you cannot do it yourself, ask for help. Because sometimes we fail in business, not because we had the wrong idea, but because we had the wrong way of taking actions that can advance their business. If you don't have competitive advantage, don't compete. Therefore, your area of excellence or competitive advantage can change over time in response to the changing market conditions. Yes, not that carefully. Your competitive advantage will not be stagnant. It changes over time, especially when competition comes in, right? Like, let me take, for example, the banking sector. 10 years ago, the banks had the competitive advantage that they could keep their money safe. But in this age, we keep our money safe better online. There are online banks, there are fintech platforms, there are crypto wallets and all of that. So we are no longer, customers are no longer looking for safety. There are many ways to keep money safe nowadays. So the banks now need to move their competitive advantage from the place of guaranteeing a building that is safe with security guards, because we now keep money on our phones. Even if a thief takes our phone, they cannot access it. Even if you take it, the password and authentication, there are many things that prevent a lot of things from happening, right? So banks now need to move their competitive advantage to the area of speed when it comes to access of money, investment opportunities, and many other stuff. So market changes can cause a change in your competitive advantage or the area of excellence. That's why it's good to be an entrepreneur or a business person that pays attention to changes in the marketplace. Don't be a dormant entrepreneur who has no idea what is changing in your industry. You don't know. You will create something in your house thinking that is innovative. Meanwhile, it is not innovative. It is already old technology. It is old innovation. People used it 2 years ago and are not using it again. Then your mind, you think it's still new. No, it's not new. It's been there. It's just that you are not paying attention to industry trends. Therefore, your area of excellence or competitive advantage can change over time in response to what? To changing market conditions. When market test or demands change, you must change as well. As a business person, when market demands change, you must change. When customers' behavior change, you must change. When government regulations change, you must change. When new competitors come into the market and bring in new technology and cause a change in the industry, you must change with that particular change. Okay? So it is critical that you understand that it is your responsibility to invest in discovering your competitive advantage, because if you don't have competitive advantage, please don't compete. You will die of depression because they will kick you out of the market. So my charge to you as entrepreneurs and professionals is, from today, define your competitive advantage in one sentence. I don't care whatever business you do. I don't care you're running from home. I don't care if you have an office. I don't care if you're online. Whatever you do, my charge to you from today is define your competitive advantage in one sentence. In other words, in what way is your product or service superior to that of competitors? In what way is your product or service superior to that of your competitors? What makes you special? Write it down in such simple terms that an intelligent child can understand it and repeat it back to you. The second charge is decide today to develop and promote a competitive advantage of some kind. Yes. Now, when you create your competitive advantage, learn how to market it. Learn how to tell the story. Learn how to create content around it. Learn how to present it in a video and promote it on social media. Okay, learn how to promote your competitive advantage. Invest time to do that. with the way your market is changing, with the way customers buying behavior is changing, with the way the future of the marketplace looks like. Are you anticipating these changes, and are you investing time on that to understand how your competitive advantage will change and how you will promote it? And you can also do this by asking your customers what they like best about what you sell to them or do for them, right? What you're going to receive can become part of your competitive advantage. In other words, why do you buy from us rather than from our competitors? You can talk to some of your good customers like that. Why do you buy from me? Why do you buy from me rather than from our competitors? Therefore, I have some 5 quick strength elements that you can use to differentiate yourself as a startup entrepreneur. This specifically for startup entrepreneurs. Number 1 is focus on one thing. Focus on one thing. Many entrepreneurs need to avoid the mistake of trying to do everything. You have limited money, you have limited employees, you have limited experience, you have limited everything, but you want to do everything. I don't know who sold us this idea. If you're an entrepreneur, if somebody talking to you, sir, I do this, we do this, we went to real estate, went to restaurant, went to delivery, went to this, went to that, like 7 things with one Tata human being who is not even 25 years old. I don't know also that this idea that doing everything makes you a successful or how do I call it? Maybe they feel that when they say that they intimidate you with success. Meanwhile, they are not actually succeeding. They're just everywhere busy with nothing to show for it. The first step to you being competitive is for you to focus on one thing. You need to avoid the mistake many startups make of trying to do everything. Instead, find one thing that you can do really well and focus on that. Ask yourself what that one thing means to your customer and why your product or service is so important to them. Find one thing. It could be restaurant business. Find it. And then find an area of excellence, what could be what? Maybe excellent delivery during break time. Find it, stay there, improve on it, grow in that particular area. As Tony Robbins said in one of his books, he said, most people have no idea of the giant capacity we can immediately command when we focus all of our resources on mastering a single area of our lives. There's a lot of power, there's a lot of command that we get to have when we focus our resources, time, and dedication in one area and become excellent at it. So for startups, I always prefer for you, yes, you can start at the beginning and try many things, but graduate into one thing. Don't start everything on square one and try to build everything at once. You're going to struggle. Your speed of growth will be small. You know why? Automatically, your lack of money to do many things, your lack of employees to do many things will stunt your growth. You're a one-man army, you're doing 5 companies, 5 businesses. Who's told that you're going to succeed like that? There's no way you're going to make it like that. That's why all of them have a near success syndrome. As I always pray in church. You don't have any complete excellent products that can make you a star in the market. You're everywhere, but yet nowhere. You command no brand name, no authority at anything, but you claim you want to succeed. Focus on that one thing and be as specific as possible in your startup level. If your startup is too much to offer, if your startup has too much to offer, customers are less likely to remember you. And you can always expand your offerings later down the line. Yes. If your startup has too much to offer, customers are less likely to remember you. That's when we ask you, what do? You tell me like 5 things. At the end, I cannot remember you for anything. Like totally nothing. Because you are everywhere. You're on your social media, on your status, you're marketing marketing products, you're marketing something that you're selling, you're marketing lunch, you're everywhere. In your mind, you think that you're going to make more money because you're marketing many things. And at the end, nobody can put a name on you that you're an expert at anything. You have limited marketing budget, but you want to market 5 companies or 5 startups. You have limited money, but you want to run 5 businesses. You can even recruit a common personal assistant that you can pay 60,000 francs, 80,000 francs for you. But you want to be everywhere. It's going to stunt your growth. And most importantly, it will reduce your ability to compete in a market that people already have more money than you. You're going to struggle in that particular area. Number 2, for you to stand out or experience differentiation when it comes to competitive advantage is customer service. Sometimes as startups, the best way that we can beat big companies is to provide excellent customer service. What's the difference? In large companies, the CEO is not there to provide customer service. They have recruited customer service agents to serve them. And a customer service agent is probably there because of the salary. Very few of them are there because they love the business, they love the product, and they love the customer. But at the startup level, you, the founder, you, the CEO, you are still having direct contact with the customer. So how you serve the customer, the love and the commitment, there's still that close proximity. It's the same like now in my office. I can quickly know if one of my staff shout at the customers, right? And I will intervene immediately and I'll talk about it. We'll settle it out immediately because it's not good. But now imagine when we grow big and maybe we have a 7-story building. I am upstairs and then the customer service is downstairs. Things can happen downstairs for even 3 months and I'm not even there. I won't even remember. I may never know it that things are happening like that, probably. So one of the best ways that you can collect customers from large companies as a startup, one of the best ways that you can have a competitive advantage as a startup from other people who have been in the market before you is for you to take advantage of your proximity to customers and serve them with your highest level of service. Give them a buying experience that they will never forget. When they think of you and they think of a big company, they say, no. That order headed to buy from these big people like this. Let me just come and buy from this guy that will serve me well, take time, give me a good experience, and all of that, right? Invest in that. It is important that you understand that your products and services are only half of the equation when it comes to ensuring your brand stand out as a startup entrepreneur. The other half is high quality customer service and support. Point number 3, innovation is the differentiator. Yes, innovation is a strong competitive advantage element. So as a startup, one advantage that you have is that you can innovate faster than big companies. For many big companies, if there's a new idea, you will need to write a letter, forward to management. Management receive it, and then calls for a board meeting. The board sits, deliberate, argue like for 4 months, then issue the letter back. We have accepted you are this also. Now it not takes maybe 1 year or 6 months before they can innovate. But here's what happens with startups. My manager that works in my office now and says, we think we should do this. We now brainstorm on it, and then we implement immediately. Work continues. You see, that's an advantage. You can make new offers at any time and launch in the market and start selling. You can mix old products that have been there and create a new product and launch and start selling. That alone gives you competitive advantage over many businesses. That is why you cannot be an entrepreneur and you're a chief procrastination officer. You procrastinate a lot of things. Why you're a startup entrepreneur? You are not serious with your business. You are giving the upper hand to an already existing company to beat you in the market. While they're having board meetings to launch a new product, you are procrastinating to launch a new product. So you guys have taken almost the same time to launch. But if you're a real chief execution officer, you think of something, you analyze it, and you get to work. Before they are ending their board meeting, you are already in the market. You already launched. You're already taking customers away. You're already providing excellent service in that particular area. Stop procrastinating. You're behaving like a board president of one big company. They can all they have is money and ancient of days that have been there before some of us. And I always say, I can proudly say that many startups in this country will kick many companies out. Just give us time. Just give us some time. The only thing they have is that they have more money than us. They have more staff than us. And we're going to rise and we're going to kick them. We have the ingenuity. We have the innovation. We are good at technology. So we are going to rise. Except they bring guys in our age group to start becoming managers and CEOs. And hey, it's going to get difficult and the competition will get more excellent. And I prefer that, sir. I'm going to compete against guys that make sense. All these old fathers, they don't have any sense. All they have is money and what and influence, right? When it comes to intelligence and when it comes to innovation and competitiveness, many of them have nothing to offer. That's why you look at companies that have been there 10 years ago that are doing almost the same thing. Startups strengthening companies that have been there for 30 years. And more of that is going to happen around us, right? Good. The fourth way that you can cause differentiation and stand out as a startup is for you to consider brand activism. Please follow this carefully. Consider brand activism. In a crowded marketplace, taking a stand for an advocacy or specific values set you apart from the rest. Now, let me do an example with somebody here. Let me say, let me take Joshua, for example. Joshua is into agriculture. He runs an agricultural startup. Now, for Joshua to stand out and develop a new way that he can be competitive in the marketplace, he can decide and say that he will start advocating against malnutrition in the society, right? That's why it's called brand activism. He now chooses a social cause and attach it to his startup. He will quickly be noticed by many people. Oh, a young man who is fighting malnutrition in villages and rural communities. That's why it's called brand activism. It quickly differentiates you from many players in the market. So you look for a social cause that is close to people's hearts, and you add that as, say, okay, you know what, this product, this particular service that we're doing, 10%, 15% of the proceeds from this will go to sponsor orphans to go back to school. I am advocating for quality education among orphans in the society. I am advocating for quality education among street kids. You look for a social cause and you add to whatever you do. That's what is called brand activism. But make sure that what you choose is directly related to what you do. So that's why Joshua can only talk about malnutrition. Joshua cannot go and pick something and talk about what? Like maybe it's agriculture, he's not talking about providing menstrual hygiene to girls. It's good, it's a good cause, but it doesn't relate to him. It doesn't relate to him. Somebody else can pick that particular stuff. Or he start advocating against domestic violence in women, except he related, okay, you know what? Maybe women are violated in their houses because they're unemployed and they cannot make money. Okay, how can I find a way to start introducing women who are unemployed into agribusiness? Now he can go for that into that area, right? So you can use brand activism and add to your startup and start doing stuff. So like Nelly, do you now understand what I was telling you? Don't close down your NGO, maintain it, and see how there are some projects that you do for your business, but they can be recorded as special projects. Do the projects under your NGO, but you can record them as special projects under your startup, under the registered company, because you can use that to increase your standing out in the marketplace. So brand activism is very important that you can leverage as a startup to stand out. And the last point is, for you to stand out and be competitive, educate your customers instead of selling to them. Instead of saying buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, start creating content, tell stories, create and curate content to communicate what you do and the importance of your product or service. For example, instead of just saying that, like there are many times I've sold courses in hundreds of thousands through my, that's why I always feed my courses through my content. I educate through the content. I now make people see the reason why they should consume the course. That's the best way to sell. Maybe just say, oh, buy the following courses, blah, 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 and all of that. It tends to be very challenging for many people to understand. But when people read content, when they read a problem, and your startup can become the solution for that problem, or your product or service can become the solution that you are talking about. So one way to stand out as a startup is for you to raise awareness, educate customers, and in the midst of your education, fit your product, fit what you sell, fit the value that you have created that can make people see that, okay, this is the problem that this lady, this gentleman is educating me about, and oh, there is a solution. How much does it cost and how can I get it? Now, you can only go into direct selling when you now command a certain brand. Like now, Apple does not need to do any special content creation, although they still do that. But sometimes when they have a new product, they just launch it and people start buying it because the brand name is already there. They are already standing out. Sometimes I just push courses out without any content and it still sells because people have been using my courses in the past, so they know what they're getting. But if you're still trying to build a name to be recognized or whatever that you're doing, learn how to raise a lot of awareness, educate your customers instead of selling to them at first, especially if you still have a weak brand. Education and raising awareness can be the perfect competitive advantage for you as an entrepreneur. So after this, remember, if you don't have competitive advantage, do not compete. Invest time, invest resources, pay for expertise if necessary. But the truth is that if anybody goes through this particular course again, you can be able to create your own competitive advantage or your unique selling proposition, and your business stands out. You can be able to do that if you were taking notes and you are ready to practice. All right, everybody, that is it for today's session. And let's take a few questions and go face the rest of our day. Cheers.